Bank of Canada announcement is only a couple days away this Wednesday. What's Tiff Macklem going to do? Going to leave it alone? Is he going to drop the rate another 0.25%? What's the Bank of Canada going to do? Look, I'm going to make it easy. It's either going to be nothing and he'll wait till September, because he can wait, it's fine, or there will be another 25 basis point drop. Only two things. So it's either this Wednesday or September, but one of these two dates, we get another 25% drop. And we'll get more rate drops in Canada as well. So we've got another one coming up in October, and we will have in all likelihood, we will have a rate drop then as well. Because why do I keep talking about these rate drops? It's really simple. The Bank of Canada is going to observe very easily the continued slide of the Canadian economy right into the crapper. It's going to be more obvious every month. So even if inflation just peaks up a tiny bit, this destruction of the Canadian economy, particularly in provinces like Ontario and British Columbia, will motivate the Bank of Canada to make sure they stay on top of rate cuts for the rest of this year. Will there even be a Christmas present on December 11th at that Bank of Canada announcement date? Probably. It would not surprise me at all if we did end up with 4 rate cuts this year, simply because the Federal Reserve, in all likelihood, in the United States, the U.S. Federal Reserve, will have at least 1 rate cut in 2024 before it continues on a consistent rate cutting cycle in 2025. So what's that mean? It means lower rates for Canadians. But what about, wait, you say, should I take a variable? Look, take a variable if you wish. There is always an implied risk. Always. In theory, you could end up with a rate that's in the high 4s by the middle of next year, by the end of next year in 2025. You absolutely could. But it's just a bet. You're making a bet. Until it's absolutely clear where that rate goes, until we actually get there, you will not know. So what's the answer? Fixed rates. What's the best fixed rate? People can get a 1-year or a 2-year fix because definitely the rate cuts are in play. But most people are just not comfortable. They're just not comfortable looking at those rates. And those rates are significantly higher than a 3-year rate. So why the 3-year rate, the sweet spot, continues to be the sweet spot? It's easy. We have now hit the lowest point on 3-year Canada bond yields in a year, more than a year. So it's just cratered. As bond traders realize, there's no chance that there will be any further increases, and cuts are coming. So we've got the lowest bond yield on a 3-year in a year. We're going to see rates today on a high ratio. So not many people can do this. This is a high ratio purchase. You're less than $1 million. You're putting less than 20% down. It's very tight ratios. You're paying tens of thousands of dollars in premiums to get it. But that 3-year rate has dropped to 4.49 and maybe a little less. Now on a 5-year, same thing, high ratio mortgage, CMHC insurance paid. We're down at a 5-year to 4.44 on that product. So rates are down. Look, here's the truth. You should not be taking any 3, 4, or 5-year rate on renewal that doesn't start with a 4. That's where it is. Same with purchases. If someone's offering you a 3-year fixed at 504, 509, just say no. There's lots and lots of 489, soon to be 484, soon to be 479 rates on a 3-year. So if the rate doesn't start with a 4, you're talking to the wrong people. If you're looking to buy a home or you're looking to renew, that is extremely important to understand. The time of rates over 5% has passed. I'm not promising there's never going to happen again for years. I'm saying that today, absolutely today, those rates should have a 4 in front of them. So what does this mean to the marketplace? Mostly it means some relief for people who are renewing. Because let's face it, renewing at 4.89 is a hell of a lot better than renewing at 5.25 or 5.49. Much, much better. So good news for people who are renewing. Will these rates come down some more? Absolutely they will. But we may actually see a crossover point early next year where it starts to be that the variable rate, don't know how fast that's going to happen. And again, that's the reason why variable rate mortgages are always a wager. They're always a bet. They're always making assumptions of future developments. You may not want to do that, but there may be a time mid next year, early next year, when the variable rate's a better deal than the fixed rates are. I mean, let's face it, for 15 years, for 25 years, for 30 years, off and on, that was always the case. The variable rate was a lower rate than the fixed rate. So that's what we're going to see in the coming months, whether it's going to be a Bank of Canada drop on Wednesday or a Bank of Canada drop in September. It's coming. That's a fact.